Hello everybody, this is Avantik here. Uh, Welcome to a brand new series of machine learning. The first topic that we'll do is black box introduction of machine learning. Let's understand. This is specifically targeted for folks who have no background of machine learning. Okay, this is a black box understanding to that. Okay, so that's all we need. The objective from this course is to become a data scientist, and we're proceeding forward to that. This is our topic: black box introduction to machine learning. What we'll understand is first what is not machine learning, what is machine learning, few use cases so that we can understand what is about types of machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, reinforced, what is machine learning pipeline, elements of machine learning pipeline, input to machine learning featureization, model training, prediction, evaluation, and finally deployment. Okay, this is the diagram I have taken from one of the famous books. Okay, and what we are trying to tell here is what is not machine learning. This is traditional programming, the way what we do in these days, right? I mean, the previous era. What we do here is you have you have to implement a firewall which should prevent some attacks happening to your private network. So you'll encode a rule over there so that if packet is coming, it will match with the rule. If there's a match, the packet drop happens. Okay. So that was the thing. If based on a requirement, based on a new data format or based on the requirement, used to add new code over there. That was rule-based approach. Whenever these were expert systems, and the expert system is something which is trained, or sorry, expert system is something which contains a code to handle all the situations. Okay, so this was your previous era systems where you have a high-end system with a lot of complex code written in it, and for a new situation you have to add some new logic over there. Okay, this was the thing. So you basically write rules all the time. Okay, write logic all the time. So that's the most important thing. You used to write logic in non-machine learning code. What changed in machine learning is you created a software which can learn from the data. Okay, you don't have to add new logic every now and then. Based on the data that it is getting, it will learn the logic by itself. Okay, you can see here the data is provided to machine learning algorithm. It returns a logic. Okay, and we'll use this logic to do prediction later on. So coming back to the previous example where we used firewall and to write, where we actually wrote code in the firewall. Okay, so that it handles a type of traffic. Now what is happening over here is you don't write code to anymore. You will train with the new type of traffic and telling that this is an attack. That's all. It will build the logic by itself. Okay, that is what is machine learning. A few before going into further details, let's see few examples. For example, the mail. Okay, automatically you get a mail and it identifies whether this is spam or a ham. Ham means it's not a spam mail actually. Okay, so this is done using supervised machine learning, which you'll understand later. This is one machine learning application that you've seen in your daily life. Second is you have different devices like lifts installed in different parts of the world of your organization. It wants to give a improved customer experience. It want to tell to the customers that this lift will never ever fail. But of course, it's a machine; it can fail. All they can do is do a predictive analysis. This lift might fail at this period of time, and doing a proactive replacement of the parts of the lift, whatever is it. Right? That's what it is. Okay, this is also one type. Then like insurance companies, if companies want to improve its customer satisfaction level, what would it do is it would actually, when in a grievance situation, like this is of course not something that will happen. Okay, but in a grievance situation, like somebody met an accident or so, they don't want to take all the details there and then do analysis how much should be the insurance amount, then they give the money after 1 month. That's not something that's that is the last thing that the victim wants, right? You really want to improve the customer experience. What you do based on whatever information you have, you just use your machine learning to predict how much is the amount that the client may get. You give it prior. And later on, when your insurance team calculates the money, whatever the differential money is, they can settle it up. Okay, but what is improved over here is the customer experience. Okay, predicting insurance. Medical is one another area. Okay, and you can see of course recently there was a competition that was held in China based on machine based diagnosis versus human based diagnosis. Machine based diagnosis was found to be 83% accurate, whereas human based was 66%. So it's gaining a lot of momentum and traction. So yes, medicine. I mean, you can scale. You have limited doctors, you have limited capabilities, but using machine learning, you can scale it up, right? Another thing is market segmentation. Suppose you are launching a new product, you would like to know how you will market, what are the possible options you have. So market segmentation is an important aspect. So this is what is you basically find similar customer and put them in one bracket, and give them the same type of ad. Suppose you have rich customers, you would want to sell them high-end products, right? You don't want to sell them low-end products. Similarly, this is what market segmentation does. It helps you strategizing your business. Then you have this is a robot based football. Okay, robots are playing football, but how does it identify? Okay, I'm hitting this way, and this missed the goal by this much, and this missed the goalkeeper by this much, so I should be hitting this way. That learning, this is the AI based learning there. Right? This is known as reinforcement learning. Okay, and we'll discuss about it later, but this is one such application. The AI is full of such applications where it is learning from environment. We'll get there later on. Okay, so broadly, those are some examples to explain where you could see. I'll connect all these examples now. So broadly, what we see is machine learning is divided into three categories. One is supervised, one is unsupervised, one is reinforced. Supervised means it is task driven. When you're training, when you're giving examples to machine learning algorithm to create a logic for you, right? You're giving examples. When you are giving a cat's photo and telling this is a cat, giving a dog's photo and telling this is a dog, okay, then it is supervised, because you are telling the target information as well. That is cat and dog, here becomes the target. So it's in the supervision. You're telling what are the right, what are the wrong things, right? Based on that, machine learning is doing future right or wrong. That is your supervised machine learning. Unsupervised means it's data driven. There is no task here. All you give is to data. It's up to the algorithm to best categorize or cluster the data. Okay, it's clustering the data. Similar data it will put on one side. This is one type of unsupervised algorithm, but here you don't have any target information. Okay, we'll come to there later. Then you have reinforcement. Reinforcement means environment driven. So basically, you can say this is task driven, this is data driven, this is environment. Environment driven means it gets a reward from the system if it is doing the right thing. Okay, like if a robot is trying to hit ball in the goal and it is missing the goal by X distance, it gets a reward. Okay, this is what you have missed, and this is. If next time it hits closer, it reward improves. So what it tries to do is with actions it earns rewards, and based on the reward it tries to find the new actions. Okay, let's understand a little bit more about supervised machine learning. So explicit learning happens. Data contains input and output. When you're training the example, you will show cat photo and tell this is a cat. This is the input. This is the training. Training means you are giving the data. You are giving the target. Okay, input and output. Based on that, it tries to find the relationship between the input and output. And for unseen output data, it will try to predict the output. Got it, right? Output can be continuous. Okay, so like, take an example of predicting price of the house. Okay, where you will have the input data as square footage, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, location. Okay, and the target will be price of the house. This price of the house is a continuous value. It can be 1,000, it can be 1,002, it can be 10,000, it can be anything, right? So it is continuous. When the target is continuous in nature, then you call it regression. Okay, when the target is discrete in nature, for example, the cat photo and telling it is a cat, it's a classification. Right? Learning algorithm tries to find pattern between input and output during training phase, and it uses this pattern for doing the future prediction. That's what it happens. Unsupervised is as we are discussing, and the example for supervised, the examples that we saw was insurance amount based on the previous patient details and the amount that was reimbursed. We would train the model, and later on for just patient details you can predict the insurance amount, right? Similarly, what we saw, given a mail, earlier you provided a lot of mails and told that this is a spam, this is not spam. That's what we do, right? When you mark a mail as spam, you're training the model actually. Okay, so on doing this, what happens is you are basically training the model. Okay, that comes as about a supervised. Unsupervised, no output associated. There is only the data. It tries to find the relationship between the data. Okay, no correct answer. Your output is not provided. There is nothing like output in this concept. Grouping of data. That is, this is one of the things that happens in unsupervised. Given all the data, it will try to find the best clusters of the data. Then you have learning association rules. Like one example is when you go to the supermarket, right? One product is kept next to each other. There is a lot of analysis that happens before it is placed that way. You might have heard about the story beer and diaper. Okay, if not, people who went to actually buy diaper end up buying beer. That was the analysis. Okay, how it happened was, this is the 1998 Walmart story. When this was the on an analysis of the bills, right? This is what you realized. People are buying beer and diaper together. So on doing the reverse analysis, it was found that it is generally father's responsibility to buy beer. So it is father's responsibility to buy a diaper, and when he is generally in his early 30s, so when coming back from office in Friday evenings, okay, when he's buying his diaper and already tired with his office work plus new kid at home, so he has all the tendency to pick up beer. Okay, so after that, you'll see in Walmart, beer is kept close to diaper. Okay, and that's one of the oldest theory around it. Okay, so this is association rule. Now this is also found out using unsupervised machine learning. Then reinforced machine learning, it's like the best way to understand is using that player and the goal, since we just now finished with FIFA. So just imagine a robot is trying to hit the ball to the goal, and there's a player obstruction, or the goalkeeper gets the ball. Okay, then he realizes, oh, the reward is less. He has to improve the reward. He tries some other thing and he sees better reward. Okay, so environment gives him the reward based on the action. That's the whole philosophy. Okay, the entire machine learning product, you have this pipeline that you see here. First is you have to understand the business, what you're trying to do. Okay, and a lot of time companies have spent over here what they want to do. Then you have data wrangling. Okay, so once you understand the business, what you're trying to achieve, you basically need to get the data, okay, and process the data. So this is that part. So data wrangling includes your data ingestion, data processing, cleaning. Okay, after that you get into visualization. If on doing visualization you realize you're not achieving your business properly, you revisit the entire thing. That's why you can see a backlink over here. Then assuming things are fine so far, you still think you are in line with your business understanding, you proceed further with data pre-processing, so that machine learning algorithms can work on it. Okay, data needs to be pre-processed because there are certain expectations of machine learning algorithms. Okay, your data has to match to that, and that is what is done by your data pre-processing. Then once the data is ready after being pre-processed, okay, you get into model training. So the same data is now ingested to learning algorithm, so that it creates a trained model. Okay, learning algorithm means that is what we'll study next part of the course. But there are certain algorithms. This is the phase where you would give the data which is ready to be consumed by machine learning algorithms. Here at this point you will give that state, get data, and it will train it. On training it, you realize that there is some problem, or you go back and do some pre-processing. You proceed further, model validation. You see something not working right, you go back and do data pre-processing. Okay, then you get into okay, and once the model validation is done, model validation is you try out a lot of strategies are there for validating a model, and also there are a lot of possibilities of model over there. Okay, so you basically have to find out the best model among all the possibilities. Okay, that is what you do in model validation. If you're not satisfied, you might go in data pre-processing. Okay, and also you might go in changing the business strategy, or revisiting the business strategy also. Okay, so this is one of the major step, and we'll spend some time over here. All the stages will be spending some time to understand what is happening, and finally, once you have a perfectly trained model, of course, training a good model needs a lot of experimentation, a lot of fine-tuning. You might need a lot of computation resources, and once that is ready, you go for deployment. Deployment means you are putting the trained model in marketplace, so that the consumers can actually access it, okay, make use of it. So that is the deployment part. It can sit behind RESTful interface. I'll explain that. Okay, so generally all your machine learning algorithms, you have to do some real task, right? And so if it is real task, you need some real data. Real data are these text, image, CSV, audio, video, time series, and absolutely anything. Okay, and what your machine learning can consume is nothing more than vectors, fixed length array of vectors. Okay, so this is the actual data. This is what machine learning can understand. So naturally you have to convert this format of data to this format of data, and that is known as feature extraction. So this basically converts any CSV to vector, audio to vector, video to vector, time series to vector, right? This is the feature extraction part. We'll in the next videos we'll discuss details about it. Okay, then comes the learning algorithm, right? This is the model training part, then this is the learning algorithm. What happens over here? You're passing the data. You can see this is housing data set, square footage, floor, total. So all this information is also, price is also there. You are now training the algorithm. You can imagine this part, right? You can imagine this part as your input. Okay. You can imagine this part as input, this part as output. So when this is the learning algorithm, you are passing this data to the learning algorithm, and what it returns is a trained model or a prediction function, right? That is the thing that happens in the learning algorithm. Okay. Once the model is trained, this is the one that is trained now, right? Using the historical data. This is the new data. Okay, just assume this is the new data. You pass the new data here, it will predict the price for you. That's all. Okay. So next part is validating the model. So the thing is, why this is important, because there are different learning algorithm, right? You can see the learning algorithm. It's like there are a lot of varieties of it, a lot of variations of it. Okay, so you have to find the best one among them. So you need model validation. You train all those competing ones and then see which one is giving you better results. Okay, and also if considering one algorithm, also there is something. How do you configure that learning algorithm? Those are known as hyperparameters. Okay, you need to find the best combination of that. That also needs a lot of experimentation. Okay, so and also if on doing all this you realize the results are not satisfactory, you might have to go back in the chain and fix few things over there, alter few things over there. Okay, that's the validation. But once you are satisfied with the validation, you actually want to put the trained model in the marketplace behind a web server, right? Or you want to ship to your customer, right? So how can somebody consume it? You actually put your trained model over here. Okay, of course you can rely on the customer to train it further and all that. I'll talk about those things later on. But as a simplistic model, you can have a RESTful interface to this model, and consumers can actually access it. That's the story of deployment. Okay, I believe with this discussion you got a fair sense around what is machine learning and what are the major elements that we will be focusing on. Okay, see you in the next video. Thank you guys.